On your whiteboard, please tell me, what are my 4 Persian empires in order, please? What are my 4 Persian empires in order? Remember, you don't need to know the Greeks in order, but you do need to know your Persians. You don't need to know your Greeks, but you do need to know your Persians. Open up your notes then. Good. I got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Come on, come on, come on. Mia, who's my first Persian? Sure. 2 is what? Yannick. Euclids. 3 is who, Ricky? Parthenians. And 4 is who, Tristan? There you go. On your whiteboard, please tell me, who is the most important Persian leader during the Achaemenid Empire? Who is the most important? He's going to lead Persia into its high point. Jason. Darius. On your whiteboard, please tell me, what is the biggest achievement that the Persians are going to create that every government here on forth will be doing the same thing? This is infrastructure building. It's going to facilitate trade as well as movement of military. What are they doing? What are they doing, Abby? Roads. They are the first to build massive roads. On your whiteboard, their government has a really unique component to their bureaucracy. Bureaucracy is really common, but what is the real kicker to the Persian bureaucracy? They have what? Making sure that people do not abuse their power. Good. What do they got, Hannah? They have spies, man. You will never see another government that just openly admits, yeah, we have spies. And we're making sure you don't abuse your power. They're the only ones, so that makes them very unique. Okay, AP loves that crap. On your whiteboard, please tell me, what is the name of the Persian dynasty that is fighting with the Romans? What is the name of the Persian dynasty that is fighting with the Romans? If you watched my video, you would know these answers. What do we got? Amari. Parthenians. On your whiteboard, which ones are going to be defeated by Alexander the Great? Use your context clues. Think about it. Which one is going to be defeated by Alexander the Great? Good. I got 3, 4, 5, 6. Good. Use your context clues. What is it, Quinn? You're doing great, sir. Yes. Achaemenids are doing it. Why did you know that? I never told you that explicitly. There you go. Nice job. There you go. Okay, the Euclid is post Alexander the Great, so Alexander the Great had to come before that, which has to mean they defeated the Achaemenids. On your whiteboard, please tell me, what is the name of the Persian Empire that called themselves the descendants of the Achaemenids? Which ones call themselves the descendants in order to full power and influence? Miss Mongoy. Sassanid. On your whiteboard, please tell me, what is... I think that's good. All right, I think that's pretty much what we covered yesterday. Okay, so it is really important you do know your 4 empires in order. Sorry, there's a test question, I think it's like number 4 on your test on Thursday, specifically saying which of the 4 are in the correct order. And you have to know all 4 of your Persians in the correct order, so we will be reviewing that for you. Okay? All right, we did talk about Cyrus, who's the founder. Darius is the most important. We do know that they have spies. They have 23 administrative divisions made up of bureaucracy. Who can raise your hand and tell me what a bureaucracy is? What is a bureaucracy? Tristan?
They put a lot of people in government
To make it work, absolutely. Is it an effective way? Yeah, overall, yes. Okay, bureaucracy is going to become very, very popular. Okay, for a long time. However, now in 2018, do we consider bureaucracy a positive thing? No, because we can streamline government much more significantly because of technology. Make sense? So at this time, the new technology is bureaucrats, bureaucracy, having lots of people in government. All right, we do know that they created a courier system. What is a courier system? Who can simplify it for me? Wyatt?
It's like a mail system.
Yeah, absolutely. They're the first ones to do it, so it's a big deal. Every government from here on else will be doing the same thing, so please make sure you know it. These are some of the big things. All right, here we go. The decline of the Achaemenid. Okay, the decline of the Achaemenid are going to pick up with a guy. So under Cyrus and Darius, you're going to see a religious toleration. Start with that. You need to write down that under Cyrus and Darius, there's religious toleration. Okay? Who can tell me what is religious toleration? What do we mean by that? Sean?
Acceptance of the government.
Yeah, they're not forcing their religion on anyone. They don't really care. If you're a Christian, you're a Jew, there's no Muslims yet. So we haven't got to Muslims yet, but they don't really care. What?
This is what you're talking about when you're saying the Persian Empire tolerated the Hebrews more.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're going to have a larger Hebrew population here for a very long time and all that stuff. So they are the first religiously tolerant society in the world. They really don't care. You don't have to follow theirs. You can practice whatever you want. With that being said, we're going to have a guy named Xerxes, and you do need to know his name. There are 3 big names you need to know for the Achaemenid: Cyrus, Darius, and Xerxes. How many of you have seen the crappy movie 300? There you go. You've seen it. Xerxes is the gold dude. Yeah? The guy with the crazy tattoos? Okay, that's Xerxes. He's going to get defeated by the Greeks. All right. Xerxes is going to repress everyone, okay? And he is going to be incredibly abusive of his power. So the previous leaders, okay, there's more than just 2, but everyone else has continued this whole system of openness and kindness. Xerxes has come in and says, treat me like a god. I mean, the guy did paint his whole body in paint, in gold paint, and he wanted to be treated like a god. Can we just all of a sudden have a leader that wants that? No, it's not going to go over well with the public, and the public are going to start to rebel. We're eventually going to see that where people are not going to be happy. We also have wars that are breaking out. You need to know the Persian Wars. The Persian Wars are versus the Greeks. It's the Achaemenid versus the Greeks. You need to know the Persian Wars are the Achaemenid versus the Greeks. Okay? The Persians lose in the Battle of Marathon. Now, is there any celebrations we do for this? What's the impact of this battle, Alejandro?
Like the messenger had to run 26 miles.
No, he didn't run. He only had to run 22.
So that's why like marathon.
Yeah, so my husband and I are training for a marathon. It's going great. Thank you for asking. No, this weekend we're running 6, okay? The most I've ever run is 18. I haven't gotten to 26 yet, but I'm trying. Anyway, when we run a marathon, we're running a half in December. We're hoping to run a one next November, a full one. Anyway, when we do that, we're in honor of the Greeks' victory over the Persians, which is a long, hard-fought war, okay? What it is, the guy, just like Alejandro said, one of the guys at the Battle of Marathon ran back to Athens and announced, we've won, victory for all, and collapses and dies. Now, he only ran 22 miles. Why am we running 26.3 miles? It's because in the 1500s, a king didn't want to go watch the marathon, so he changed the route to make it go by his castle, and that's why it's 26. Just saying. Anyway, so that's why we honor it. Just fun fact for you, the Persian Wars, okay? So once the Persian Wars are over, it is going to open up the Persians to weakness, and of course we're going to see that Alexander the Great defeats the Achaemenid Empire, okay? So there are 3 things you need to know. Xerxes abuses his powers, causes public rebellion. They lose the Persian Wars, and Alexander the Great conquers them. Those are the 3 parts to their collapse. So, the 3 reasons why they fall. We have public discontent with Xerxes, because he's kind of a jerk. The man paints himself in gold. Only real turds do that. Second thing is they are going to lose the Persian Wars versus the Greeks. The third thing is Alexander the Great is going to conquer them. Okay, so that's your 3-pronged. First one is going to be Xerxes abuses his power, which creates public discontent. So the people aren't happy. Then they lose a big war. Okay, how do you think that makes people feel? Absolutely, they're incredibly pissed. And then, of course, we have Alexander the Great who just puts the nail in the coffin, and the Achaemenid Empire dies. Okay? All right. Next empire. You're right over there, Savannah? Is this not how you want to start your day today?
No, it's fun.
All right. Suclid Empire. This is right next to it. You need to write what? Suclid Empire is what? It's the second, but what do you need to really know about it, Mia? Post Alexander the Great. You need to know that there's a gap of time between the Achaemenid and the Suclid, and that's when the Persians are in direct control over the area. That's when the Greeks are in direct control of Persia. Okay? So, the Suclid Empire. Alexander the Second, that's fine. Alexander the Great dies unexpectedly. Okay? Okay? The generals divide the empire amongst themselves. Okay? And they're constantly being attacked. Okay? They are constantly being attacked. Why are people constantly attacking the Suclid Empire? So, Alexander the Great dies. They create this empire. They divide it amongst the 12 generals. Why are people constantly attacking the Suclid Empire? Think about it logically. It makes a lot of sense. Ricky?
Like to gain the territory?
Yeah, absolutely. Does it sound like they're unified? Does it sound like they're really thriving here? No, so it's an easy land grab, for sure. You see that someone over there is really weak, or you're going to say, oh, we should give them time to strengthen, or are you like, hell yeah, let's go beat the hell out of that weak one, and we can take all their stuff. Hell yeah. That's exactly what's happening with the Suclids. Okay? So, I hope you enjoyed the Suclids. Did you? We're done with them. So, they're going to be around for a little bit. They're not going to do so well. Okay? They're mostly just trying to not die. Alright, so, your Parthians. So, I would skip a section. Okay? Skip a space, center of the heading, that's what I would do. Okay, the Parthians, they are your third Persian Empire. Okay, they officially defeat the Suclids. They officially defeat the Suclids. Okay, they have a centralized government. This is one of the first people we have to have a centralized government. Okay? However, they are fighting, I'd put a big star, they're fighting with the Romans all the time. Eventually will be defeated. They are fighting with the Romans all the time. Because of all the money going to wars with the Romans, do you think people are going to be happy? No. So people are going to internally rebel and eventually will fall. Okay? There you go. I hope you enjoyed the Parthians. They were the first centralized government. They have a pretty strong military. They have a really good cavalry, but mostly they're just fighting with the Romans all the time, and people aren't happy, so they fall. The Romans defeat them, but what do you got?
This is probably a stupid question.
No, it's not.
No understanding. So, Alexander the Great, right?
Mm-hmm.
The land went to his generals. Why was that a Persian Empire?
Because we've talked about it. It's fine. Remember, so the Greeks put Greek generals in position, right? But when Alexander put the generals in those positions before he died, because he left generals behind to set up a government in order to foster control over the area, he left men behind and forced them to marry local women in order to really kind of centralize their power. Okay, so they're not just foreign invaders, they're clearly trying to put down roots. So what happens is when Alexander the Great dies, they don't have any central command anymore, so they're starting to really depend on their Persian families. And that's why it's a heavy blend, because it's not going to be a Greek society anymore. They have Greek men in position. However, it is the Persian wives and Persian family members that are going to directly influence government. So it's like this weird hybrid mix. Does that make sense? Thank you for asking. All right. And then your fourth and your final is the Sassanid. Okay, this is your fourth and your final for the Sassanid. They call themselves the descendants of the Achaemenids. Okay, they call themselves the descendants. Why do they call themselves the descendants? Why do they do it, Mia? Yeah, the Achaemenids are awesome. Look at all the things they did. Everyone else is just kind of dying, correct? Everyone else is just kind of barely flapping around here. The Achaemenids are awesome, so that's why they wanted to have it. Okay? They are going to be fighting with Rome. That is important. They are going to be fighting by Rome and eventually are overthrown by Muslim caliphates. Caliphates is C-A-L. Here, let me write it on the board. Caliphates. Okay. What? They're going to be fighting with Rome, but eventually they're going to be overthrown by Muslim caliphates. What do you got?
Did we go over what,
Aganaut is?
yeah.
You don't really need it. But I had time yesterday, and you people were so delightful yesterday that I was like, you know what? I'm going to teach them what Aganaut is. Because no one cared, and no one was talking to me anyway. Cool. All right, to the boards. Let's go. On your whiteboard, please tell me who is the most hated Persian ruler in history. He took this religious toleration and smashed it. He wanted to be treated like a god. Because of this, people are going to be pissed and start rebelling. What do you got? Abby. Xerxes. What do you got, Sam?
Didn't we build like some gates in the
We built some stuff.
capital city?
Sure. Sure. Yeah. I mean, guys, I hope you see. The Ahmed, we spent, 7 minutes on the Ahmed yesterday? Really? I think we had 2, so we're up to 9 minutes total for them, right? They lasted for almost 700 years. Okay. Pargarethians, they last for about 400 years. We covered them in a minute? Yes? Okay. So, yes, there are major accomplishments of every single one. We're just picking the biggest things that AP cares about and moving on. So, we can't cover everything. So, you may be 100% right, Sam, and that sounds really cool. I have no idea, and it has no weight in AP. I'm so sorry to tell you. What do you got?
If the Sassanids were overthrown by Muslim caliphates, when did the Muslim religion?
Muslim religion begins in 610 when Muhammad is spoken to by God, okay? And in 651 he is killed. Muhammad is killed. The caliphates are going to start really moving around in 640. So that's a huge turning point. Obviously, the collapse of non-Muslim in the beginning of the Muslim empires, which is going to kick off, which is pretty cool.
And it's 610 AD.
610, yes, we're in AD at that point, but don't really worry about it. Just know that the Muslims are coming at the end. That's all you really need to know at this point. All right, on your whiteboard, please tell me what 2 Persian empires are fighting with the Romans. What 2 Persian empires are fighting with the Romans? Good, good. Come on. What do we got? Sydney. Parisians and the Sassanids. Absolutely. What do you got?
So, did the Roman Empire start around the time like this? The Indian Empire began?
Yes, they're about kicking it at the same time. They're both starting up. Of course, the Romans are going to start in Italy. They're Romans based off of Rome. So they're going to start in Italy and start spreading around the Mediterranean Sea. So by the time they get there, the Romans are coming into their peak, and the Parthians are starting to decline. And that's why they are eventually going to be beaten. On your whiteboard, please tell me what Persian Empire is going to fall to Alexander the Great? What Persian Empire falls to Alexander the Great? I already asked you this question, just a different way. Good. Who is it? Madison. Ahmed. On your whiteboard, please tell me, who are the 2 teams in the Persian Wars? Who are the 2 teams in the Persian Wars? Good. Oh, put a star next to the team who wins. Put a star next to the team who wins. Nope, Jason, you're wrong. Sorry. No, you're wrong on your teams. Good. Who are my 2 teams? Annie. Ahmed versus the Greeks, and who win? The Greeks. Yes, it's technically the Ahmeds. I will accept Persians because they are Persians, but it's the Ahmed Persians. Make sure you do understand that. On your whiteboard, please tell me what is the name of the government that is the first centralized government in this whole region. What Persian Empire is the first centralized government? Nope, it's a type of government. Good. Cheyenne. Parthians are your first centralized government. On your whiteboard, please tell me what is the name of the empire that is created by 12 generals post Alexander the Great's death? Good. Good. What is it, Hannah? Euclid. On your whiteboard, please tell me. Both Cyrus and Darius had this belief. What is it called when you believe that any religion can be practiced and there is no forcing anyone to practice a certain religion? They are the first civilization to believe this and enforce it. What is it? Matthew?
Religious tolerance.
Religious tolerance. On your whiteboard, please tell me what is, please tell me, what is one accomplishment of the Achaemenid Empire? What is one accomplishment of the Achaemenid Empire? Good, I got 1, 2. Ah, come on, they did other cool things besides road building. They built what, Jason? Royal Road. Thank you, Savannah. What else did they do? Hell yeah, they did standardized currency. What else did they do, Ayla? Courier system, the first mail system. They have a very effective bureaucracy. Okay, oh, there you go. All right, cool. Did we enjoy our empires?
Yes.
Cool, let's talk about culture. So, Persian society. Now, every time we're going to cover the empires and then we're going to talk about them as a whole collectively. Because when we talk about empires, they create a certain culture, and this is where we're going to start, okay? So, Persian society. That's what I would write for your heading is Persian society, okay? You need to know that their creation of the bureaucrat class is going to create a new dimension in their social structure. We're now going to have educated people in positions of government. With the bureaucrat class being created, we now have a need for education. Why do we want educated people in government? Yes, we need smart people. Can we agree? How hard is it to watch dumb people do things? How hard is it to watch dumb people then control what you do? Correct? Isn't that annoying? When you have, because I know I used to have teachers and I've definitely had bosses who are complete morons, and you're like, how are you able to tell me what to do? Correct? Okay? Imagine if you had just only complete morons running government, very ineffective, not the best. So because of that, once we create bureaucracy, we have to create a new educated class because we need people to be able to do math well for tax collecting, record keeping, and of course we need people to be well educated for translators. Okay, so we have an educated class. We also have slaves. Now please listen, don't write everything down. You do need to know that they are slaves, okay? That mostly they're domestic servitude. What does that mean? What does that mean, Matthew?
Like house slaves.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're cooking your food, they're making your beds, they're washing your sheets, they're doing all those different types of things, okay? Most of them are going to be prisoners of war, and their children are going to be kept in slavery, so it's not just you. If you have kids, it kind of keeps the system going. Does that make sense? Kind of like American slavery and that. Now, you need to understand, ladies and gentlemen, American slavery is very, 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 very unique. The Americans are the only one that color coordinated their slaves. Okay, think about it. Before, in America, most people were what skin color? Hello? White. They're coming from Europe. Most of them are white. They were importing white people to come to the Americas to work as laborers. What would happen with those white people? If you came over, okay, and you were working a field, would you really want to work a field? So what are you going to do? You're going to run, right? You're going to leave? You're going to sneak off in the middle of the night with a cute boy or the cute girl in the little lot next door? Hell yeah. Okay? If you're trying to look for a white person in a white civilization, is that easy or hard? Hard. However, if you only import Africans, black skin tone, to a white civilization, is it easy to find them? The United States is the only one to color coordinate our slavery. Okay? We're the only ones. So when we talk about other places, it's not always one specific type of population that we're using to enslave. Okay? They are regular people. Okay? So Madison right here, she could be hanging out with us, but if she goes in too much debt, I can buy you as a slave. Wouldn't that be fun? It'd be great. So all of the slaves are all different colors, creed, religion, nationalities. They're all completely mixed until the Americas, and the Americas are going to color code them. Okay, so keep that in mind because it's going to keep coming up. Okay. Now, you do need to know that the Persians are going to be huge traders. Who can tell me why do we know they're huge traders? Mia. The Royal Road. They're huge traders, so they have a pretty strong economy. Okay? And their major religion is Zoroastrianism, which you do need to write down. We are going to talk about really quickly. Okay? It is going, the only thing you really need to know, it is going to be the foundation of all Middle Eastern religions. It's a foundation for all Middle Eastern religions. Okay? They have a mysticism component. You're going to want to write this down. They're the foundation of all Middle Eastern religions. It has a component of mysticism. You can raise your hand and tell me what mysticism is. Come on, we've talked about it before. Tristan.
It's like kind of magic.
Yeah, it's kind of magic, man. Hell yeah, I could bring my baby to you that's sick and you do your little voodoo spell on it and then all of a sudden my baby's healthy again. I'm like, yeah, nice job, Tristan. You got that voodoo magic or whatever. What do you got? Yeah, absolutely. All those like people who are telling fortunes on it's a little bit of mysticism. Okay? So they have a little bit of that. You don't need to know everything, people. Okay? Alright. So they do believe in fortunes. Okay, they do believe in predicting the future, and that's part of this whole mysticism component. Okay, it is used to help predict future events. How well do you think it worked? No, well, since there were four of them and only one of them were really successful. Do we agree? Okay, we're going to see that it's going to collapse under Islam. You may want to write that down. Zoroastrianism is going to collapse under Islam. Okay, but that's really all you need to know. Okay, you do know already that the Persians are pretty religiously tolerant, so there's going to be plenty of other populations there, correct? We're going to have Jews, we're going to have some Buddhists, all right? We're going to have a little bit of Hindus coming around, but that's about it. All right, there you go. There's your Persians. Sounds good? All right, here we go to the boards. Let's go really quickly. On your whiteboard, give me all four Persian empires in order, please. Give me all four Persian empires in order, please. So much rage. All right, Nathan, what are they?
Ahmed, Suklid, Arinthan, and Samson.
There you go. On your whiteboard, please tell me what is the name of the religion of the Persians? What is the name of the religion of the Persians? Good. Come on. Good. What is it, Rex?
Zoroastrianism.
Sounds good. Zoroastrianism sounds good. On your whiteboard. Zoroastrianism believes in a little magic. What is the fancy term we use? Starts with an M. However, what is the fancy term we use to describe it? Good. What do we call it, Rachel? Mysticism. Zoroastrianism's big thing is what? They are constantly trying to predict the what, so much so that Alexander the Great's going to ask about it. Everyone's going to kind of do it. Ms. Mongoy, the future. It's all about trying to plan the future. On your whiteboard, please tell me, with a bureaucrat class, we now have a need for what in society? Because we now have a bureaucrat class. Jason, you could look at your notes and try figuring out the answer. I know Sam's pretty reliable in throwing it out correctly, but you could probably look at your own stuff. Ava, education. On your whiteboard, most slaves were coming from what source? Most slaves were coming from what? Good. Come on. Good. What do we got? Sydney?
4.
They're coming from prisoners of war. Okay? They're prisoners of war. There we go. On your whiteboard, please tell me which Persian Empire is the most influential. Which Persian Empire is the most influential? Good. What do we got? Rex, you don't show me your board, so I'm not sure if you ever know the answers, man.
Archaemenids.
Ahmed, yes. Alright. There's your Persians. I hope you enjoyed it. Yes? Alright, here we go. Let's do the Greeks. Okay, keep in mind the Greeks and the Persians very much intersect with one another, okay, specifically during the Euclid, but there's a lot of overlap, okay? Now, who can raise their hand and tell me, out of the 3 empires, the 3 separate regions we're talking about, who do the Greeks never overlap with? Talked about it yesterday. The Romans. The Greeks die off, the Romans rise, okay? The Romans and the Greeks never overlap, but the Persians overlap both the Greeks and the Romans. Okay? There is an overlap between Greeks, Persians, and Romans and Persians, but not between the Greeks and the Romans. Greeks die, the Romans are like, hey, cool, that's awesome what they did, and let's try to do it again. And that's what they do. So please note that. All right. So, Greece. Okay? We talked about this yesterday. What is Greece? What does the actual peninsula of Greece look like? What is it kind of like? How would we describe the peninsula of Greece? It's going to impact every aspect of their civilization. Sam? They're very mountainous. Okay? Would it be a place you'd like to start your own farm, Sam?
No.
No. It is not agrable. Okay? No agriculture can really thrive here. Okay, so what is the impact of it not being agrable? What is the impact of it, Wyatt?
They needed to trade.
Okay, they had to trade, okay, and so they're going to create what? This is all coming from your map yesterday. They're going to need to create what? What do you got? Ayla? There you go. So, because the peninsula, and you're going to want to write this down, the Greek peninsula has terrible farmland. They have a need for trade. That is the most important thing that you need to understand because it dictates their entire history. When you go to Greece today, okay, except for the islands are pretty lush, okay? However, if you go to the Greek peninsula today, it is brown and scratchy looking and lots of rocks. That's it. Like you drive around, it is not pretty. It's weird. And then you see olive tree groves, and that's pretty. And that's the only thing that grows. Grapes and olives. Only thing that grow in Greece. Okay, so your first civilization is the Minoans. Okay, so your Greeks. Your first civilization is the Minoans. Okay, they start on the island of Crete, and their major city is Kostos. There is a very famous story from the island of Crete and the Minoan society. Does anyone know? Sam? Yeah, it's the maze one. You know when he wanders through the maze and he has to fight the Minotaur and all that stuff?
Is it also the one where like he makes the suit with feathers and wax?
Okay, your Greek mythology is really impressive. I do not know that much about Greek mythology. So you could be 100% true on that, Sam. Once again, I don't know because I don't care. Did you have to read Greek mythology your freshman year?
No.
What the hell do you people do in your other classes?
Romeo and
You spent a half a year on Romeo and Juliet?
Yeah.
No joke.
Yeah,
I had to
it was
memorize
really
80
dumb.
lines.
I'm sorry.
We had to make
A play that can be presented in an hour and 30 minutes. It took you all year to read?
Yeah.
Half a year, sorry.
We also had to remake a video of it.
We had to
do
I had to
I had
look
to
like a
memorize
boy.
80
lines. Yeah, and I had just like Romeo.
And what did you learn from this?
Nothing.
Nothing.
You
And
already
she
forget-
didn't want us to
You already
finish
forget
this,
about
though.
it.
Yeah,
Like, it ruined
yeah.
the whole
She made me like real like I asked if I could fake kiss a girl and she said no.
Well,
Yeah.
lessons learned, I guess. I guess you had a real high school experience making this stuff. All right, well, okay. Anyway, so the Minoans are your first. Now, put a big star. Okay, this is the foundation of European monarchies. Now, I will tell you right now that I went to Greece with Ren a couple years ago. We went to Kosnos Palace, which is on Crete, the Minoan house of government. It's a big deal because do you know how our kings and queens live with their nobles and all that stuff, correct, in their house? The reason is to supervise and keep an eye on it and have a heavy influence. Well, all of this started in on Crete in the Minoan Palace, and it's a huge deal. Well, we got there, and our tour guide was terrible, horrible, and was just telling us about like the dirt and the rocks and not telling us like the story. So I started talking about the importance of the Minoan because I was raging. Because I was like, this is not what I want. This is awful. This is terrible. What a waste of my time. And I almost got arrested. Because you're not allowed to talk about historical sites if you're not an official registered tour guide in Greece. Like you can't just like show up and say, hey, let me give you a tour. So I literally almost got arrested. Ren had to escort me out of the premise because there were 2 police officers on their way to arrest me because I was livid because it was bullshit. Okay, I was pissed because the reason why this is a big deal, ladies and gentlemen, it's the foundation. Every kingdom is going to be based on Kosnos Palace. From here on out, for the rest of Europe, is going to set up their kingdoms, right, to look like the Minoan Palace. That you have your nobles essentially live with you and overlook and influence everyone around you. Is that a big deal? Oh, yes. And my tour guide sucked. All right. I was pissed. Yes, Mia, you had something to say, my love.
Yeah,